Back then, we were all sound designers, and actually we would only work on music in our spare time. So that was the key thing. Like when you finished working on your sound design, you stayed late and worked on music. The team was so small that it was a very close-knit kind of group. My primary role actually was cinematic sound design, but for the first War III, it was orc music, like a couple of the orc tracks, and then all the undead stuff. That was always my strength, was always the creepy stuff. Regardless of the IP, that's how most of us tend to get inspired is. You might take a unit or a model or a piece of art and make it your backdrop on your computer, make it your wallpaper. That's one way. You might zoom into a zone, or just like, you have commands like create all the units, right? And then just like frame it up, and then just go and sit down at the keyboard and start, finding sounds or whatever, see what sets the vibe. I didn't know much about it other than like, okay, we're doing a remaster. And then they suddenly showed those things, and I just flipped. We had only dreamed about our characters looking like that. It's just kind of crazy. There's new score in the cinematic. As far as what's going in the game, it's still being determined how much will touch the music. So it's like, do you want to play that nostalgia, or do you want to bring it to life in the way that the character models are doing?
Man, wouldn't that full orchestra be cool though?
Yeah, it definitely would. So anyways, those decisions are still being made.
So when you went back and listened to the soundtrack again, I assume that you have, what do you think when you go back and listen to your undead music or orc music?
Oh, I still love it. I mean, like, you still hear that music resonate all through the WarCraft IPs. You hear it in Darnhold, you hear it in all sorts of places in WoW. A lot of people are like, oh, we want this to feel like WarCraft. We want this to feel like the original WarCraft. Oh, we want to take inspiration from the RTS. You get that a lot because it's the roots of the company. It's the roots of the franchise. It's the roots of the IP. WarCraft II, WarCraft I, that's where we come from. Some of the trailers that you will have seen at BlizzCon are derived from chord progressions in the human music and stuff like that, or segments of the horn melodies and stuff like that. So it's just, it's a never-ending wellspring of music. There's fantasy music, and fantasy music is a category, but not all fantasy music sounds like WarCraft. I guess that's the thing, and there are certain people who can really write WarCraft music, and there are certain people who can write fantasy music. It's sort of combining those hits on the timpani and the low strings, and just, voicing the minor chord in the right way that strikes the right vibe. It isn't really a formula, it's feeling. Just doesn't get more WarCraft than that, really.